Guys, Mike Pytel here. We're at the ECX scooter shop, and today we're doing a really fun and very interesting custom build. So, we recently got in the new Aztec Logan Fuller Signature 6.66 inch wide deck. This thing is massive. I mean, it's almost comical how big this thing is. So we figured why not trick it out fully and do a nice little like lowrider style custom build. So pretty much we have the deck and the wheels picked out. Other than that, we're gonna go ahead and customize the rest of it, build it all up, and see what it feels like to stand on, because I haven't actually stood on one of these yet. So this is gonna be pretty fun and exciting. So let's get into it. All right, like I said, we got the deck and the wheels that we're gonna do. What's gonna make this really funny is we're gonna put some 100mm wheels on here. So let's go ahead. We're gonna grab the re-entry 100mm wheels. This deck is so large that even with like 120mm wheels, if you carve on the side or tilt the scooter, you're gonna be scraping because of how wide it is. So with these 100mm wheels, this thing's just gonna be sunk to the ground like a lowrider. So it'll definitely feel really weird. So let's build it up. All right, so we got our deck, we got our wheels. Those things we kind of already had in our head, but we kind of got to go through and design the rest of it. We got the Aztec circuit boards. That'll look nice and clean with it, because actually these only fit 110mm wheels, so actually keep the wheels all nice and tight up, which will get the deck as low to the ground as possible. So since we're doing small wheels on a lowrider, that'll go with it well. What do you think on handlebars? We got to do something big, something crazy. Oh, well. All right. These are like massive. I think that'll kind of go with the craziness of this build a lot. It's definitely going to look really, really sick. All right, so we're gonna need a headset and grips. I mean, headset, keep it nice and simple. Go with the Proto. We'll have a nice clean look to it. We're gonna need to do an SCS. Let's go ahead and grab the new Brother SCS. Really, really sick. Let's go with the silver, because the silver one's gonna go with the wheels and it's gonna go with the fork. We got all that little splash of color. We got the etching right here. The white and the silver is gonna go with the deck real well. The deck has that little bit of red, so maybe with the grips and grip tape, we'll throw some red in there to kind of keep that color scheme going. So let's grab the Brother SCS. New Brother SCS has got a bunch of those on the website as well, so check those out. And the headset, I ride the Proto headset on my personal scooter. Definitely would recommend it. It eliminates having a compression ring and a dust cover. It kind of put those two pieces into one, which is a little bit stronger for your forks and a little bit cleaner of a look. So definitely check that out, look into it a little bit. Grips and grip tape. All right, so we're gonna do red Epic grips and then the red Avid Scooter grip tape. So let's grab the Epic grips, because I got a bunch of these in stock. Boom. Pretty much all grip tape only comes 6 inches wide. So we might have to get creative with it. We'll see how it looks. Maybe we just won't have to file the edges. We'll figure that out as we go. But got the Avid Scooters grip tape. It's just that little bit of red. Keep it nice and classic. Got all that silver and black, the raw. Got the burnt on the weld there, and then just that little bit of red to go with a little bit of red right here. Definitely gonna look really sick. We're gonna go ahead, walk into the warehouse side, and build this thing up. All right, so we got all these parts, pulled it out onto the table. We're gonna go ahead and put this lowrider together. So I'm gonna set these wheels aside real quick. Pull that headset. The grips will do last. Air compressor's in the other room, so that'll be off camera, but dude, this deck is just massive. It's just massive. This thing's gonna scrape like crazy. So this deck, if you order this off the website, it comes with 2 different sets of spacers. If you're trying to run 30mm wide wheels, then the ones on the zip tie are gonna be what you wanna use. And if you're running regular 24mm wide, whether it's regular or just the core 24mm, then you're gonna use the spacers that are on the axle already. Let's go ahead and take this axle off and start putting this guy together. All right, so I got that back wheel put on this deck there. And I mean, that's like maybe a little over an inch of clearance. This thing's gonna be so low to the ground. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put this headset on. Like I said, I ride the Proto headset on my personal scooter. What I love about it is that Proto has eliminated the need for extra pieces, basically. The compression ring and the dust cover are built into one. Essentially, you don't have a dust cover. It's built into this compression ring, which less moving pieces is gonna be a little bit better. headset is only held in by a little rubber seal. Even when your compression's fully tight, you always have a little bit of movement. So with this one, it just compresses it a little bit better. All right, and then for the SCS, like I mentioned, we're gonna be throwing on this Brother Scooters SCS. They're a relatively new company, like Matt Ogle, so they're not new to the industry, just new parts that are coming out. So it has a really nice, cool look to it. It has some cutouts on the bottom to keep it lightweight, but it's pretty much like just nice, classic baby SCS size. So it works with oversized and standard. Since we're doing oversized bars, I just pulled the shim out, and then also too, the compression hardware. I'm gonna throw that aside as well because the Aztec has that nice M8 compression bolt, which is gonna be nice and beefy and hold it. I'm gonna tighten all that up. Because we're doing an Aztec deck and Aztec forks, it works perfect with SCS, just under 1.5 inches that sits up out of the top. Put that all together, it's definitely looking really good. Like I said, I chose the silver. It's gonna go with the little white accents here, but we got the silver raw aluminum in the front of the fork there. And then the raw handlebars all gonna look really, really nice together with just that little bit of red accent. Go ahead, I'm gonna tighten up the clamp bolts just a little bit, just to snug them up before I put the bars in, and then we'll slide the bars on in after putting the front wheel on. What's cool about the Aztec forks is that it has this male-female axle, which is really slim and sleek. Still has the 6mm Allen head, which is awesome because normally with this type of axle, you're not able to fully crank down on it. Whereas with the Aztec, you're definitely able to crank down on it with the 6mm head bolts on there. So you crank down, get that nice and tight, and then we're almost there as far as this build goes. So, and as you can see, this thing is sitting real low to the ground, which is pretty crazy, pretty funny looking, especially with the ginormous bars we're about to throw on here. This thing's gonna look really, really funky. All right, so now we need to go through. It's like 90% there. All we gotta do is put the grips on the bars, slide the bars in the SCS, tighten it all up, and then we just gotta do the grip tape. Because this deck is so crazy wide, what we're actually gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do a big vertical cut on the grip tape. I don't really like these white borders on the side, so a little white strip down on one side is gonna look really fresh. So let's go ahead and get that grip tape cut, and then I'll throw the grips on. So we're gonna go through, I'm gonna take the grip tape, look about where I want it, and then I'm gonna flip it onto the opposite side to go and make my marks. If you're curious about the way that I'm doing this grip tape job, you can look on my personal YouTube, and I have a full tutorial on what I would say is the best way to do grip tape. So I'm not gonna talk too in depth about it in this video because I already explained it all there. The way I'm doing it is that the white line is gonna be right in center with the weld on the down tube where it connects. So that way it there's not a bunch of lines everywhere. It'll kind of all work well. All right, so now that I got all those marks made with my Sharpie on the back side, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start to cut this out, and then I'm gonna make that big slit in there. Doing grip tape this way definitely takes a little bit extra steps, but it's always worth it because it's always so much cleaner than the alternative. All right, so that last little cut, I'm gonna go ahead and hit with the razor, and then we'll go ahead and slop this grip tape right on the deck. All right, so we got all those cuts made. Definitely a real funky grip tape job, but when I put all the pieces together, it's gonna look really good on there. So let's go ahead and take the back off this grip tape and slop it on this Logan Fuller deck. So now I got that all on. Like I said, I wanted this white line to be right in line with the weld on the down tube right there. So all that looks real nice and clean. Doing grip tape this way, you cannot argue with the results. So that looks super fresh. I'm gonna step into the room, throw the grips on these handlebars, and then slide it all on together, and then we'll be all set. Now we got the grip put on the handlebars. I'm gonna slide the bars into the SCS, tighten it all up, and then we'll get to stand on it, see how it feels. So we got the scooter all fully built. This thing is super funky. We got massive bars, a massive deck, super tiny wheels, smallest ones on the market that are actually scooter wheels. Real nice clean parts overall. It's still, it's a funky build, but it's still a nice solid scooter. We'll do a drop test in a little bit here, but this thing will probably feel crazy. So All right, we gotta do a little drop test here. Solid as expected, but I mean, standing on this thing, it's actually pretty comfortable. The bars are way bigger than what I ride on my scooter, but because it's sitting so low, it doesn't really make a difference, but in my head, it makes it feel like it's not as tall. But this thing's like real drop to the ground. This is definitely a low rider scooter. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Keep coming back. Make sure you like the video and subscribe for more content like this. So thanks. Catch you later.